Okay, this is a typical water pump setup for a narrowboat. It's really what provides your boat with the water pressure so that the boat functions as you would expect water to flow in a tap from home. So at the front of the boat you have a bulkhead, which in this case is where all the water is stored, and the water comes out through a pipe at the bottom of the tank and comes through a tap here, which I'll come back to in a second, and through this tap here into a pump and through a diaphragm, which is here, which actually pressurizes the system. Basically, when you run a tap, which I'll disappear and switch on at the moment, the pressure that is built up in the system is released because the water is escaping through the tap or the shower. What actually happens then is the diaphragm here realizes it's got a drop in pressure, and the pump is then told to start pumping water into the system to maintain that pressure in the system so that you get a consistent flow of water. What I'm going to do now is go and turn on a tap to release the pressure out of the system, and you'll hear the pump and the diaphragm kicking in and start to feed the pressure so that the water remains constant throughout the boat. You can hear that as the pressure started to drop in the actual pipe work that's running through the boat, the pump has kicked in, and through the drop in pressure is maintaining the flow of water through the boat so that everything, when you're having your shower or doing your washing up, remains at a constant pressure. It's now turned off because the pressure is right, it's built the right amount of pressure up, and what will happen again, as it's just done, once that pressure drops again, it will cut in again and operate to get the pressure back up. And that's how the system's run on most boats. What I'll do is I'll go and turn the tap off, and I'll pop back and show you what the taps and various other bits and pieces are for in this particular setup. There is, as I mentioned earlier on, a tap here that's clearly marked off. That tap is quite important when it comes to winter time. Most boats have antifreeze in all their sealed systems, so that's their central heating system and their engine system. But obviously this is water that you shower in, do your washing up with, and some people drink. So therefore you can't put antifreeze in it. The problem is any pipe work like this here, which is on HEP 2.0, which this boat is actually plumbed with, can, if there's water in there and when the winter sets in and temperatures get down to -8, -10, actually expand and crack. To actually stop that happening, you have a tap here which you can turn off, and this will stop the flow of water beyond this point here. So there is only a very small section of piping from the bulkhead here of the tank down to the side of the pipe where you can actually get frost damage. And what you can do now is go and turn the taps on, go and turn the shower on, and drain all the water out of the system from this point on. It's part of the winterization process, and it will stop your pipes freezing, expanding because the mass of the ice is greater, and obviously splitting the pipes and creating leaks, which are the last thing you want to come back and find in the summer. Very simple, takes a few minutes to do, and it's just a case of making sure that all the water is out of the system once this is in the off position. I'll turn that back on.